got 30 people in here already. 30 already. I tell you what, when you get superstars on, everyone wants to come and see you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not just those.
Do you not remember when Games of Thrones used to be on a Wednesday at 8, 9 o'clock? We'd have nobody here. Just be thankful Games of Thrones is over.
Is that what it is? Because it's
no Games of Thrones, I might as well watch them two hobbits. And that's it, they're on here.
Anyway, everyone, tonight is part 20 of, what is it? What is it? Good old BOE representing the Tub Thumpers. How are you, Si?
I'm good. I've had a good week. It's been like sunny for once. Tell you what, I don't know all these on the other parts of England, but it's been shite this summer. We've had about one proper sunny day in Blackpool, and you can tell it because everyone's doing everything on that day. Gardening, the lot.
It's just the way you always say Blackpool. It's like from the 90s. Oh, it's been a sunny day in Blackpool. Do you know what I mean? Blackpool. Unbelievable. Anyway. So we've got awesome guests on tonight. So you're quite happy with tonight's guests, aren't you? So you're quite excited about.
I'm telling the story, which I'll just tell before we bring them on.
Right.
I haven't been to Echo for the past few times, and I like Echo.
Yeah.
But we got onto the Toy Fair, and the Toy Fair sort of took over. You know, the going away and staying away and stuff, and like you go for a couple of nights. So the Toy Fair took over, and I've not been going to Echo. But like you at Joe Fest, I always like to catch up on the YouTube videos. So I'm watching videos of Echo, and I come across these two, and I'm watching it, and there's a segment in the show where they both split up, and they say, right, I've got £10 to spend on you, and you've got £10 to spend on me.
That's because that's all the wives gave him, £10 each. That was it.
You know what it is? And they go off, and they go and get each other a little top treat and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's a great video. And then I watched them again at the following Echo, and they did the same thing, and then one of them went and the other one didn't, but they still did the same thing.
So
I was a bit starstruck when you said these wrong, and then I saw them on Stews, and then I thought, oh, great, they're in the community, because I watched Universal Collectors. I think it was My Collecting Life, and he had them on.
Yeah.
Or one a Stew show. So I was like, maybe. So I'll see when next time I go to Echo if they're going.
Well, what can you say about that? They're awesome lads, aren't they? We're big fans, and who we're talking about is these two. Brilliant. Yeah. From the YouTube channel a long time ago, we've got the lovely Martyn.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we've got the lovely Adam. Hello.
How are you doing? Hello. How are you doing?
So does that make
that
make you what is it? Does that make you blush a bit? That's our size, your biggest fan.
A little bit.
I thought it was really good the way you did it though, that you went off and because what you can find at Echo sometimes it's like a treasure chest, isn't it? If you have a good look at Echo, you're like, whoa. Sometimes it really is.
Sometimes when I'm going back through editing those videos, I see things that I thought, oh, I should have picked that up. I didn't even notice it at the time. I'm thinking, oh, I should have picked that up.
You know, you do. There was a guy there once when I went a couple of years back, and this guy was like a model maker, and he got all these models, and they were beautiful, and they weren't expensive at all. And he had this speeder bike, and it must have been 2 foot, absolutely beautiful. He'd made the whole floor of it, everything, 50 quid. And I was like, I've got to pick that up. But then I kept thinking, I'm on the train. This is going to be banged about with everything else by the time I get it home. And I forgot to get his card. So the following Echo went, he wasn't there. And then the second Echo went, he wasn't there again. So I'm like, oh, I've missed out on this guy. But then watching your last video, he was there. So I was like, brilliant. I'm definitely, you know, even if he doesn't have the bicycles out one, I know that was the guy because of the other stuff he had. So I'm going to ask him about because they were beautiful models, Mark. Should have seen them. Really cool.
This is the guy Echo, right? That was did he not? You said he wasn't at the last Echo you went to, was he?
No, like I didn't. When I went to the last two, he wasn't there, so I was a bit like, oh, I hope that wasn't a one-off for this guy. But when I watched their last video at Echo, he was there, so I was like, yes, brilliant, he's back.
I just want to do something. I just want to show this. Just look at that collection. that is wow. That is unbelievable.
Do you know what, Mark? When I look at rooms like that, I get one word: divorce.
Right. Well, let's have a look who's here. Well, one person who's here is also a big Star Wars fan. Our Des is here, which is brilliant. Let's have a look. There he is. Hey, all you cool cats,
Hello,
what's
Des.
up? We've got our Stu here. Hello, gents. I'm on early, so I can get to watch. Oh, nice one. Stu's on early. It's brilliant. G-Force is here. Hey, G-Force.
G-Force.
Kieran's here. Wow, everybody's turning up. Everybody's turning up. Let's have a look. Here we go. Adam does not look pleased in his compact UFO.
Every day them UFOs. Yeah. Me and Adam flying around.
I'm loving Marty's little space rompy. Well, I asked him for a picture and he sent me that one. So, you know, that's Kieran says the trick is to cut the boxes open before recording your videos and just pretend to open them on camera. Yeah, well, I'm glad you said Stu there and not Shabby. That's pretty good because I've had Scott Whitehouse is here. Hi, Scott.
Hey,
Kieran says hit that like button, you Muppets. TJC is here. Oh, sorry. Guess who else is here? Good old DTM. DTM, it was great. I mean, Martyn and Adam, have you met DTM yet?
We haven't met him. No,
I've been on a stream with him. I think with Stu on one of Stu's streams. I think we were on the first Star Wars quiz together.
How did you do that Star Wars quiz? Are you doing?
We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that.
Star Wars.
Yeah. I was cheated out of the final.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, controversy. On the TUB Thumpers.
I know. I tell you what, Si. So DTM says, "A to the chat, Shabby Shy." Put my teeth back in. Shabby, Si, Adam and Marty, looking forward to seeing your swag. Yeah, we are looking to see your swag. So you've been in the community now for a while. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The
really
best
good.
part of it is meeting all of you guys. I mean, I feel like I've made friends for life through absolutely loads of you. And you know, if ever I need advice on anything, in what I collect, or you know, just anything general, I know I can just jump onto Instagram or message one of you guys. And you know, before we did this, I didn't even know this community even existed. So you know, it's been fantastic.
Weird in a way, and it's nice.
That, you know, whereas like no matter if I watch the start, I'd say tomorrow, I think I'm going to go back and collect Action Man. And I've got no memory now, but all I remember, they were my favourite toys as a kid. But we know enough now in this community, enough experts that I could get everything mint and the accessories I needed, and that's just off the people we know, you know, like because they know what to buy and what to get. And I think this is with every line, isn't it? From Mask for Luke and Action Man with some others, and
I think VTR Dave has helped me on a couple of occasions when I've seen him at toy fairs. But I think for me, I think he probably knows a lot about a lot of stuff, doesn't he? So he's a good guy to ask. Dave,
I told that story about when I went to Joe Fest, and Super Awesome came this year to Joe Fest. He was meant to come last year, but his brother passed, bless him, and so forth. So it was lovely to see John this year. And I was our Si wanted a Marvel figure, and bloody DTM found it straight away. So I thought, I want to get Si something, but I just don't want to pick anything up. There's this one vendor that's selling all these Toy Biz, immaculate Toy Biz, 90s X-Men and the Marvel figures and so forth. And I thought, you know what, I'll get Si one of them. So they had this Silver Surfer, but they had 3 variants of him, right? They had one that was chrome, one that wasn't chrome, and one that had a different board. So I said to Super Awesome, John, just which one's the best one to get here? My word, I need it. He told me everything, the whole history, which one to get, which one was made. And it was superb because I thought that's awesome, you know. So I agree with everything you're saying there. It's nice when you meet people who know what I like it as well that we all collect different stuff and we all have different stuff, you know, and you can learn off each other. And so I'm going through it now with the G.I. Joe thing and learning off all these fellas and watching the cartoon and that kind of thing. So that's good, Scott. That's awesome. Can I just take a moment to wish Man and Si's mum? It's her birthday today. She's the biggest Tub Thumpers fan. So Anne-Marie, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
The General's 70 today. She'll love that, Lord.
She'll love that. Well done, Si. Well done. Hi, Rob. Lovely to see our Rob here. Brilliant. Our George is here. Evening all. It's the longer lads. So you just met up with Stu and Georgie, didn't you?
Yeah, Stu and Georgie came over on Saturday, and it was such a great day. I love them both to bits. Steph and I, we love them, and we went out for a nice lunch, and Stu and I talked Star Wars toys and Battlestar Galactica for hours. Yeah, it was a really good day. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So do you and Martyn not live, Adam, not live close to each other?
No,
quite a while away.
What, 3-hour drive?
All right.
Shouldn't be that far, but you got the M25 between us, so slows us
And
down
that's
a
right,
bit,
your cousins, right? Is it your cousins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Let's have a look. So we got Travels with Jason's here as well, which is awesome. We got Baz here, which is awesome. Matt's collection. We've got old Matt's here. Hiya, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
So everybody's
He's got something in his room that, and Keith Guppy's got one. But you know that, like full-size stormtroopers. I always think every year, should I get a full-size stormtrooper? Just stick him in the house.
We all want one, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something that's like you feel like you need one. Do you know what I mean?
I've always wanted the full-size Darth Vader outfit. I've always wanted one, but everyone always has to remind me that I'd probably be like the shortest 5'9" Darth Vader you've ever seen in your life. So I just won't be able to carry it off. But
put blocks in your boots, Martyn.
So I was eating this massive sausage sandwich a couple of days ago. Yes, I put that stormtrooper outfit on. You'll look.
I know. There's a guy right at Echo, and bless him if he's watching, but you are a big lad, and he must weigh about 30 odd stone.
Yeah.
And I've gone outside for a cigarette, and when I come back in, you know, you have to get on them escalators to get into Echo, you know, that side. I'm stood behind this stormtrooper, and he's killed it already because, like I said, he's about 30 odd stone. And he's pulling that white arse bit out of his arse. Look, it's that bad, it keeps slipping up. And I was like, you are killing the dream of Star Wars by this one escalator ride. You know what I mean? He was a big one.
I'm surprised he wasn't in the Acolyte.
Simon, Martyn, Adam, can you smell something? Can you smell that?
I am the last of the International Playboy.
He was meant to have a hot date tonight, Adam, but he's decided to join Tub Thumpers instead. So here he is. So unfortunately, my date was postponed due to road. My date was postponed due to road closures and bad traffic. But fortunately, it means I love the way Connor went. You've got a BMX.
Oh, brilliant!
Absolutely, you made me laugh, man. Everyone just Connor, well, you got a BMX. Get on that. Well, we're glad you're here, mate. We're really glad you're here. So. Let's have
and
a
if
look
things are meant to be, you'll only meet up again, won't you? If they're meant to be, they're meant to be, aren't they?
Of course it is. Oh, I'm talking about Connor.
And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure it steals your heart away.
And Irish eyes. Hey, Connor. I think that's it. I think I've done everybody more or less. So look, Mr. Redmond's here. Good evening, Shabby Side, the Long Boys and chat. It's going to be good talking to you two tonight. So, as we ask everybody that comes on Tub Thumpers, why is it in tubs, or is it stuff you just don't want to put out? Stuff you've moved on from this sort of collecting, or
Adam?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, mine was just in a box in the loft. It's something that I've picked up over the years when I was young, really, and I don't have time to use it anymore because it's not toys. I was saying to you earlier, I've gone down the video games route. So I've got loads of old, well, I say loads, I've picked out a fair few old Nintendo things that I had. So, that's
can you TJ now like that?
It's just things that I've had for years and years, never got rid of, don't want to really sell it.
No,
I
know that
you don't want to, and and but I mean, I don't play them anymore. Probably half of it probably doesn't work, so I probably should get rid of it. But it's one of those things, you know.
That
I feel like one day,
I
will have it. I'll play them again.
Yeah, well, I was going to say sorry for cutting you off. I apologise there, but on ZSR they were showing Adam Berry was showing some Top Gun stuff and Tesla, and they'll never play it. And I don't know why they bought it, but he said because the front of the cassette looks cool, and I'm like, we are weird, aren't we, as collectors?
You find yourself all downloading like I've got a PS5, and anytime anything comes out like the Tomb Raider trilogy or the GTA trilogy or the new Battlefront that's come out, you know, the old Battlefront 1 and 2s, and they've just been re-released, I'm straight on them, me. I get them straight away.
Absolutely.
I'm still one for that.
Yeah. I got the new Battlefronts. Well, not the new, but the new old Battlefronts when they came out a couple of months ago, and everyone was complaining about them. But I loved them. I thought they were great.
I loved it. That's what I was like. Oh, you lot have just ruined Battlefront 3 for us. You've ruined it with this constant complaining about. Look at that game. Look at the graphics in that. I'd kill for Battlefront like that as a kid. I'd have never been off it.
No, it's so much better than the new modern versions. So much better.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is mad. But it's funny. It's like I don't believe you've heard me say this before. And I've got like 4 or 5 big tubs full of loose 3 3/4 inch figures, from vintage collection to Power of the Force, and I moved on. You know what I mean? I went to Black Series and stuff like that, and then I was filling it out with Joe's, and obviously the Masters of the Universe came, so they just went in tubs in the loft. But it's like what you said, Adam. I can't. It's weird because you think I sold some stuff last year, some Power of the Force stuff and some 12-inch stuff I had and bits and pieces, and it felt so weird to me because I was never a person that started this to sell it, but I had too much stuff. So there's a toy shop in North Carolina called Papa's Pennies, and she came around and she bought about $500 worth of stuff off me. So I thought, brilliant. And I did feel, I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad, but it was just such a strange thing for me, that selling stuff,
Yeah. I mean,
what is it about Star Wars today for you both then? What's like, so you don't collect the toys or anything, Adam? Are you still into the franchise and you just pick up what do you actually collect for it? And
no, I do. I've only really sort of started collecting the action figures for the last sort of year and a half. But I haven't really got anywhere to display them at the moment, so I hardly ever bring them out. I have got a few. I don't think I've got any to hand, but one day, like, the dream is to have that space and just sort of be able to display everything and show it all off in one thing. I mean, we've shown everything that I've picked up on our channel so far, I think. So yeah, if anyone does need to see it, in a year and a half, I've done quite a good job picking things up. It's an addiction, isn't it? I think it's quite an addictive thing. Yeah,
there's a few in this community that've only been collecting a few years yet. What they accumulate in that amount of years, you're like, oh my god, you won the lottery or something.
Well, you see a good deal. You see a good deal and you can't resist it, can you?
No, you cannot. It's funny that Scoob's here. Hi, Scoobs. Nice to see you, pal. Good old Scoobs.
So when it comes to your action figures collection, then what are you doing? Are you collecting the originals? Are you collecting new stuff? Are you going Black Series, TVC, and?
It's pretty much all 3 3/4 astromech droids at the moment.
Yeah, your videos, you love the robots. Yeah, of course, robot mad.
Yeah. It's all about the astromechs, and there are a few other things in there. I've picked up a few TVC carded figures and stuff, but I think and so that's another thing I've just started picking up recently is Lego. That's another thing.
Oh, but, no chance. I'll pick up the $20 ones, or our site. It makes me laugh because our site will spend like the $200-300 ones, the expensive ones, and then keeps them in a box. Don't open it, but I'm like, I don't get it,
Yeah,
no way.
I've got one coming pretty soon, which is a little bit sort of more expensive than what I'd normally get. And
what did you get?
I'm in two minds as to whether to open it and build it or whether to just leave it. I just don't know what to do.
But the thing is, leave it because you're saying to yourself, "Oh, this will be worth a bit," but you're never going to sell it. So
that's the thing, isn't it?
And that's the thing. Weird.
Catch 22.
I must have hundreds and hundreds of Black Series, hundreds of them, and I haven't opened. There's only a couple I've either opened or someone sent one in that's loose. But I would say I've got at least 500-600 that are just never opened, and I don't know why, because I'm never going to get rid of it. I'm never going to sell it, but I keep them close. It's funny how you do it. And yet the He-Man will come on a card, and I'll rip that open straight. No messing about, you know. So it's funny that. Cat Serai Cat, it's far too hot down here in the south. I've been sitting around in my boxes, windows opened, the lot.
Well, I'm up north, grim up north. All right, lad.
Is it cold up here?
Yeah.
Something's off with the colour of my TV. Shabby's hat looks like the same colour as Adam's, but it's a perfect.
That's a nice BMX he's picked up. That he's done up together.
Hey, Ricardo, great to see you, pal. Wow, unbelievable how many people are here, up to 40 already. That's unbelievable. Delvian's here. Hi, Delvian. Nice to see you. I think they're all, I don't know whether they're all coming for, to see what's in your tubs or for size question of the week, because it kind of, I don't know.
Definitely size question of the week.
Well, talking about size question of the week, here it is. Size question of the week. So
I'll tell you something first. You know, on a bit of a level like Adam Berry, tonight I had that jumper on, and I thought in my head, I can't have the same jumper on as I've got on in the clip, or people will think that I never get dressed or anything. I've always got the same stuff on. So I get to change it. And then I thought that's something Adam Berry would do that.
Oh my Lord. I would never, I mean, that's such a tarts comment, isn't it? Oh, I didn't want to wear the same jumper.
I was like, the same one.
But anyway, Si, Kieran's obviously favourite part of the Tub Thumpers is your question of the week. So what is this week's question of the week?
Bit of a mind blower this week. But when you look, like, I've been thinking, the history of us, do you think, like, people say there's a great reset, don't they, in humans, and that every so often we have a reset and everything, like, starts again? And when I look at things from the past, like how things were sculpted and how things were built, and you look at the Egyptians and stuff, and even like the Renaissance days, and then you compare it to today, would I be wrong in saying that actually our past was the future, just a lot more simplified how we get the future? That's my question this week.
I know, Martin. I'm glad you came on, Adam. You glad you came on, Adam?
No, because you look, don't you, like everything, like it's so much better. Like you go into MFI now and it's just like a box and it's just like a table. Yeah, if I was to walk in MFI in like the 16th century or something, it's this
MFI in the 16th century, right? Yeah.
Terrible, like, beautiful wood and like. But you look at it today, and even though you get these certain things, they're even still not on a level of what the past was. And then you walk in these old churches and these old buildings, and you see these sculptures and the architecture. You were like, these boys were from the future, but simplified so it looked like the past. It's like us, right? We create tech, but we try to simplify it, don't we, over the years, like, till it's something so simple that we just have. And I think that was the problem. We think that they had no tools and they're old-fashioned, but it's just that they were that advanced. Everything just looked dead simple.
Right. So hang on, I've lost the question now. You went on a bit of a tangent then, Si. So the question is, are the people from the past from the future? Is that
no? The question is our past really their future? Like a great reset? Oh. Are we actually looking at the future, looking at the past, considering what we see?
Right. I'll let you to answer that because I'm
still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I'm going.
Told you, mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, there is an argument to be said, and I agree with Si. I think anything from, say, the Roman period, the Egyptian period, you know, even the Renaissance, it's definitely more, you know, aesthetically pleasing. It's arguably better built, but I think where some things have perhaps got worse in the future that we're in now, you could argue that perhaps things have got better than they were in the past. So the reason these things were built was because of, you know, there was no morality back in those days. So
you've thought about this. Listen to this.
You could you know, head off to Egypt and kidnap 200,000 slaves and bring them to Rome and build your temples and, you know, take them to the arena once they built your temples, and then, you know, kill them in the games in the Colosseum.
And that's frowned upon today.
And now today, you don't get all that architecture and all of that beauty because the morality, or the so-called morality, is there now, where you can't just take people into an arena and, you know, let them die for sport. You know, we have to watch Everton for that.
Whoa.
Fantastic.
Yes, I totally think that Si is right. I think the past is definitely their future, but I believe the way that we look upon the world now and the way we treat people is perhaps more the future than it was in the past.
I agree.
I think this look just says it all. Look at that.
I haven't got a clue what you're going on about anymore.
I haven't a clue. I know. Well done. That was it.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Okay. I didn't know the no man. How are you, pal?
Go, Adam.
Oh, I can't wait to see what people are going to say here. To say the truth.
Yeah, I think you've answered that for us. I don't think I need to answer it.
No, it's just like when you see football sculptures today, and like you see that sculpture that's in London with Princess Diana and them 2 kids and stuff. They're all crap. These sculptures are crap. And I'm not being funny. I'm looking at sculptures that are in like Westminster Abbey and these sort of places, and they are amazing. But then I think, look at the tools these people had compared to the tools these people have today. It should be 3 times more amazing than that is. And yet it seems that the artistry is gone. And then I think that's because these people in the past were actually a lot in the future, but the tools were simplified. It's the only answer. You can't look at some of the way these buildings are built, and then what we got today, corrugated buildings and big Asdas.
Adam's going to get older Martyn later on and say, "You told me it was about Star Wars, you bastard. I didn't know there was
Si didn't give me any pre-warning to us the question was.
No, he doesn't. No. But after tonight's, I'm going to ask him to pre-warn me. So let's have a look. So,
I mean, yeah, you're right, Si. The technology, now you could use a laser to create a marble statue rather than someone hands chiseling it to look as beautiful as it in the turn of
I think it comes down to the patience that they had, and these days everyone wants everything done so quickly. They expect it like instantly, and the attention span's not there. People just rush these things out. I think back in the day they had more patience. They took their time with these things.
So what you're saying is that it doesn't automatically mean they're from the past or the future. They just can't be bothered.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
To be fair, I think that is a good.
None of that. They just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. There's a lot of people of a certain generation these days who just don't seem to be bothered to do anything. But
that's it.
Hey John, nice to see you, John McGuire. Good old Johnny Boy's here. Good old Geek Strong's here. How big's your muscles, Adam? How big's your muscles?
Not big anymore. Not big anymore. I haven't been to the gym in a long time.
Are you saying we might have some live Nintendo dance pad action? Have you got one of those Nintendo dance pads, Adam?
I don't have that, I'm afraid. No, that's not in my collection. I don't think I've got. I didn't bring them down. I've got the box that's up in the loft's massive. Yeah. I've got some more modern Nintendo things. I've got the Donkey. What was it called? Do you remember Donkey Konga, where you had the bongos on the GameCube? Oh. Yeah, I've got those up in the loft. But that's about it.
Donkey Kong was the game. I remember when that game came out. Then you could see them graphics were changing, weren't they? When you saw Donkey Kong, especially for that Super NES, you were like, these graphics have changed. Remember that coal scene? Then when he's on the coal mine, it's all lit and everything. Looked amazing for its time.
So, Adam, if you'd like to give us a dance for Geek Strong,
I would love to, but I haven't got.
Weird Geek Strong asking grown men to dance for him, but that's what he wants. So
there's not much space, I'm afraid.
Just blow on the cartridge. I asked Tez that. Did that ever work? And all that. You blew it.
It did in our house.
Well, it was, yeah.
I assume so. Yeah.
Real Toy Dude, the artwork was always amazing. Used to love the picture on the discs and clocks. Yep. Salacious. Hello, Salacious Rum.
Hello.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. You're missing something on your sign. There you go.
Oh, let's have a look. So let me just make you big a sec.
A little rum.
That's Derek. That is
Derek.
That's Derek.
Yeah. Derek. Yeah. Derek Rum.
Yep.
Our oldest daughter has just borrowed our Nintendo Wii. Just Dance 1, 2, 3. It was gathering dust, to be fair. I never had a Nintendo. I don't think I ever had one of them. You hold on to that dream, Adam Long. It's a beautiful dream.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Trying to think what we were talking about, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, after size question, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get down to it.
It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing questions. That's the thing. The thinking man's questions.
I'm up to Lego, so I'm getting down a bit. So I might have to miss it a little bit here to get down to him. But I'll get down to what size says. Oh, look who's here. BOE. Hello, BOE.
Hi.
Oh, Mr. Keith Knight's here. Everyone's turned up. Everyone.
Keith.
Everyone's here. Fantastic. Scuba, I'm guessing Claire sells the contacts for big money and fills the boxes with crap.
Probably does, yeah. I'll open them all and we'll be full of bricks.
Let's just see. To review all size questions, subscribe here. Something extra THC sprinkled on this week's question. Good evening, Keith. Oh, Stu said that's a great question, Si. It's a great question.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you.
Do you think if transported someone from the past to the future, they would be really disappointed?
Oh,
I would be. Now I would be.
Yeah, I think I would be too.
Because we were talking about this up in our time travel, and I said, like, if I had a time travel machine, I'd go like deep in the future, like 300,000 years. All these people are going in the past and go and find out.
Because you don't know what you're expecting you don't know what you're expecting in the future. That's why.
But that's your adventure, though, isn't it? What are you expecting? Do you know what I mean? You get out 300,000 years from now, it'd be crazy.
I went to Cork recently. Felt like I travelled back to 1956.
It's like that, yeah.
Mr. Redmond says, I think the big problem today is art critics not getting fed to the lions for talking shite. Well, they are. That's a good point. Kieran,
you're not wrong there.
Now a fact that there are more advanced civilizations populating the earth long before the Egyptians. What do you think about that?
He's been on Google, hasn't he? He's just been on Google him. I'll show him.
Nowadays, you have people spraying orange paint and throwing baked beans over
I don't
artwork,
get that.
So.
I don't get it at all. DTM says, I nearly jumped off my train roof when Simon off my train roof last week's questions. I came out with MFI. Brilliant. Vintage Toywood says, very true, Si. We used to have the two Ronnies. Now we have you two, Charming. Charming.
Can I be Ronnie Corbett?
Yeah, let's have a look. To order the same aluminium foil Si uses, order it. Oh, brilliant. Okay.
No, but truthfully, you're getting like middle-aged like I am. Do you not like think of these like mad stuff? Like what really is going on? Like I'm lucky to still be here yet, and I've lived here like half a century now, and I'm still baffled with what everything is.
I can help you with that side. Go to your front door, open it, and take a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get out of it.
Shabby, what Si means is, did God switch us off and then turn us on again? You see, now that's getting too
a few times.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, hi, Aisha. Hi, Shabby, and everyone on the panel and the chat. Hi, pal. Nice to see you again. To watch the Bangles sing War like an Egyptian. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Martyn, you legend. There you go.
Legend already. Look at legend status.
Does it feel weird to you both that people know who you are now?
The first time someone came up to me at Sandown Toy Fair and said, "Oh, I saw one of your videos. I didn't know what to say, to be honest with you." I was like, "Oh, thanks. That's really nice." It was really odd. Thankfully, that's the only time it's ever happened. But
it's not happening like out and about in the streets at the moment. Not yet, anyway.
Happened to say Echo. Someone went shabby and he turned around and he smacked him straight in the face. I couldn't believe it.
I was hospitalized.
I totally agree with Si. I don't understand it, but I am too afraid to disagree with Si. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Our dad says, what little brain I have hurts now thinking about size. I know you're going to have to come up with some easy questions. Si. Everyone's like, what is that?
Well, to put it out, they've got to be like stupid, haven't they? Or there's no point talking about them.
Answers like that is how Martyn gets the answers right on the quiz. Oh, brilliant.
That's why I keep going out in the first round, I think.
Are you still in the quiz? You're still in, aren't you, Martyn? Are you still in it?
Yeah, I made the semis last week.
I've got
to redeem myself from the Star Wars quiz, you see.
Might be a nice sparkly trophy in that room there. You never know.
destined to meet up with Trenton again.
He's
no tree, no surrender too.
Is he on? He's on this week with Matt Trenton, and he's on with Matt on it, so that'll be good. BOE says during the Renaissance, all the art reflected Christianity, and recently rediscovered Greek Roman past. The Renaissance led to the Age of Enlightenment. Look at that. You see the things you learn on TUB. We thought we were just going to look at Star Wars figures. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Architects and designers had more pride in their work a long time ago. Modern counterparts go for simplicity and cheapness rather than beauty. They have become lazy over time. There you go.
I don't think lazy over time. I think I agree with what Adam says, is that people can't wait anymore. So I think it's more of a case of that'll do than, oh my God, that's amazing. They're just glad they've already got it. And I think that's moved a lot with talent slacking a bit, that people can't wait 5 minutes. And you look at the world today and how agitated people get if they have to wait like 5 minutes for anything, you know? So
there's also a tendency to try and make everything a bit more modern. And there was nothing wrong with the classics as far as I was concerned. So everything has to be a little bit, out there, just to make it a bit more modern. But,
sometimes it doesn't work remodernizing classics. Look at Disney Star Wars. Sometimes it just does not work.
I cast it out there for you, Sty, and you really back in.
He couldn't help it, could he? We lost in 36 minutes. He did all right, 36 minutes. Aisha's got open heart surgery on Monday. We wish you well. We wish you well.
Yeah, we do. That's really,
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Hey, Scooby Pete, sorry if I missed you. The chap is always jumping. Says, Ricardo, the tools might be more simple back then, side, but whips so bloody well.
Get it done. Get it done. Adam's waiting. Get it done.
Adam said they take years to sculpture. They took their time, but now it's all about money. Whack it up and collect the money as soon as possible. Hence the poor looking buildings. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of art nowadays is more for shock value. Well, that's what our Des is coming out.
Sometimes, though, does art shock value mean a load of shite? Because sometimes I think this is like, I watched this thing the other week, and this knobhead has got like a pile of mashed potato in this art gallery, and he's whipping it with a mic. And there's all these people stood around him like, genius. I was like, my head exploded. I was like, he's whipping mashed potato with a microphone.
I would have gone with a fork. I would have been stood there with a fork waiting.
No sausage.
No sausage, exactly. Yeah. Right, here we go. The world has forgotten more than it has learned. Right, let me get down here a bit. Size weekly question. My weekly migraine headache. Oh my God. I think
sponsored by Amazon Extra.
Hey. So those super awesomes here. Nice to see you, John. Mr. B's here. Hello, Mr. B. But anyway, we're all here to see Matt and Adam. Now, Matt and Adam, Martyn and Adam have a YouTube channel called A Long Time Ago. So if you don't really know who they are, here's a history. Here's a history of the land a long time ago. So there you go. That
Oh
was
my god, crying.
I'm so glad I got that picture of you in that jacket, Martyn. I'm so glad.
I tell you what, Adam, I've crucified Martyn with that picture. The moment he put it, when I saw it in that video, I was like, screenshot.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
It's like it's in touch and he goes, Shabs, what should I do for Martyn? I said, just do anything. That picture of Adam as Indiana Jones. Oh my!
I was going to say, yeah, that's great. That's fantastic.
He put the whole poor girl in with Martyn.
Oh god, brilliant!
Absolutely brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. So
T said we should all buy one of them coats for the next deco. We should all get one and going on and wear it every year. That coat's magic, isn't it?
That's great.
Oh
That is
my
great.
god, that was superb. Yeah.
Do you not remember that message you used to B-side when you saw Martyn in that coat and you went, "Oh, I'm gonna have a field day with it."
I've literally been in hours of me putting that out. That video, us putting that video out. There was someone on the Instagram group, and I was like, no, I'm never going to forgive him for this, Adam. I just can't believe it.
Brilliant.
Getting back to reality, anyone buying the new? I saw that new corridor set, the one with the Mandalorian one in it, but there's no Cara Dune in it, which I find a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we're going to cause a bit of controversy not putting her in it. The character Cara Dune, I'm not bothered about the actress, but you would have thought that they'd stick with that. You know, you've got to separate the characters from the actors. I don't think she did anything wrong. That's just my opinion. But not as when you see what Hamill does every week. You know what I mean? And everybody else. I don't. But for not to put her in it, I thought that was a bit strange. You know, I would have just done the corridor, but I would have put some. Can't really put something different in though, can you? You can't put the three characters and leave her missing. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think Adam and I were texting last night. We were going to jump on and do a quick 5 or 6 minute video about the announcements yesterday from Hasbro. And again, it's just boring Mandalorian after Mandalorian after Mandalorian, and just getting sick to death of it now. I mean, I think Yakface beat us to it. They actually created a graphic that says the Mandalorian collection instead of the vintage collection. That's all it is now. It's as someone who absolutely loves the line, I just want something new. I just want something different. But
you do,
your Cara Dune, she should absolutely be in it. You should absolutely separate the character.
You've got the mold for it. You've got the figure for it. Just put her in it. You know, even on the picture, you'd have to bring a new remodeled figure out. But at least she's on that. You know, it stops. It's a trivial thing. I understand it is, but when it comes to collectors, especially diehard Star Wars that are buying this sort of stuff, this is the sort of thing you look out for. Hang on a minute, she's not on it. You know, and it's do you remember that thing with the Rancor and they put the Stormtrooper in the mouth and we all went mad about that? Hang on a minute, it's that sort of thing. It's trivial, but.
But Mark, T's just said then in the chat about like another army builder figure. Is that like what they mostly go for now? Because every time I hear this with Hasbro, it only seems to be the Star Wars that do like these army builds, and so are they still playing for that? Do you reckon that's why they still do it?
I don't know. I just think. I cocked up for vintage collection, and I'm not going to. I mean, I used to collect it at the start, but then I only buy the ones that I like now and so forth. But for Black Series, there was so many Mandalorians that came out, and I understand what you mean. It's nice having them, but space them out of it. It just feels like it was all. I mean, I think the Mandalorian changes his socks. You get a figure for it. It's like it's a snow one. It's a muddy one. Here's one with a coat.
Well, the 7 figures released yesterday, all 7 of them were Mandalorians. Just chuck a couple of droids in there or a Jedi or something. Just something else,
something a little bit different.
The Mandalorian hasn't had a season for over a year, and the next time we're going to see it in another couple of years' time. So, but that's Hasbro for you.
Well, let's just.
So do you always hope for like vintage, Martyn? When they come out and stuff, do you always go like, "Please be vintage films, please"? Are you one of them, or you want?
Yeah, absolutely. I always want vintage, but I also want prequel trilogy as well because I'm a huge prequel trilogy fan, huge OT fan, and there's so many characters in the OT and especially the prequel trilogy that I haven't even put on a card yet. So. Why I understand it's new media and they've got to put out what's currently coming out, but they don't even do that. I mean, the new Mandalorian stuff's coming out is a year and a half after the last season of The Mandalorian, so
makes no sense to me. That
Yeah, it's very odd. Very odd. But
Bro,
I'll still buy it.
it's not an easy question. You jump back in time to hear the question, then jump back here, and it's not so nuts. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, we're here to look at your tubs. We're here to see what you bad boys have got. So, what I'm going to do is we'll start off with Martyn. Martyn, show the lads what's in your tubs.
Okay, well, it won't surprise anybody to know that it's all going to be Star Wars stuff. So I will start. This is all stuff that's basically, been collected since about 1994, I reckon. I think the oldest thing in here is. So we'll start off with my VHS special edition widescreen
Awesome.
original trilogy box set. I remember going to see. Oh, that was that. I remember going to the cinema. I remember going to see
these. For you, Si. There's a clip for you right there.
Next week's question: was that the VHS box or was it Martyn?
Si's question of the week: did or did not Martyn Long fart on
there's a YouTube short for you. So yeah, I remember going to see those in 98? I think they came out. No, 97 they came out, didn't they? And couldn't wait to get them on VHS. And I've worn these out when I first got them. So
did you find them or did you rebuy them, or are they ones from your childhood?
These are I was at university at the time, so these were actual my original purchased ones from probably HMV or something like that, Woolworths, or something like that. So yeah, they're my childhood ones, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a VHS player anymore though.
Oh, you can borrow mine. I've got one here, but I've never used it. It's just on my shelf with this. Right, Adam, what's in your tub, my friend?
Like I said, Nintendo. I've had to take it out the tub and just sort of scatter it around me.
Awesome.
Starting off with the original Game Boy. It's a little bit yellowed.
Oh,
but
I loved that.
In terms of consoles,
I think we all did, didn't we?
These were great. Yeah. I don't know if it works anymore. I haven't played it in years. It's been just sat there. In fact, I don't even think I've got a game that I can play on it anymore.
What was your favorite game?
What happened to
Adam? What was your favorite game?
Oh, what was my favorite game on that? F-Zero? Was that
F-Zero?
Oh, F-Zero.
I've always loved a racing game. Tetris is a classic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Tetris, the toilet's companion, Tetris. Oh,
it's
got no alliteration.
What you used
before. Do you know what my favourite
iPhones,
game for that was? Do you remember the Turtles game? I love the Turtles game.
Oh, yeah.
It was so cleverly done. Looked really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Right, so we've got a Game Boy. Right, back to you, Mr. Adam.
Oh, I don't know how that got in there.
Look at that.
What was that then? What was that? No wonder it's left in the tub.
I don't know,
that was the Bible.
How that got in there, but yeah. So now these, when I went to Celebration in 2016, and they had the Rogue One panel. They were handing these out.
Yeah.
At the as you came out of the panel, where's my camera? There we go. So these are really cool. I must frame these at some point and put them up.
Yeah, beautiful posters. Rogue One posters, weren't they? Every one of them.
Yeah,
were just stunning.
Yeah, I love the film as well. I think it's the best thing that Disney have done probably since they took over.
Since buying it, yeah.
Because a lot of people say, people only like it because of the last half an hour. I love Rogue. I think it's interesting all the way through it. I don't think it's boring at all. I think it's so well done, so well put together. And then when I found out, because we were talking about on ZSR when Andor was coming, and I'm not sure about Cassie, and I'm like, are you joking? It's made by the same people that did Rogue One, that finished off Rogue One. And it's about the height of the Empire against the rebellion. What's the... Yeah. And
they were right. Andor really was boring, so they were dead right. Yeah.
Andor was awesome. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, what's next for you?
Sticking with the consoles, SNES.
Oh, the hours on Street Fighter, Mark.
Yeah, I loved that thing.
Loved the SNES. I do have a couple of games with the SNES. Now, Mario Paint. That's that hand. Mario Paint. I don't know if you remember Mario Paint. You had
but I didn't know they did it for that.
It came with a mouse.
Right.
And I had the mouse because you couldn't play it without it.
Hey, Adam.
I don't know where the mouse is anymore. But this one was probably my favourite game on the SNES, Super Mario World. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember that game too well,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was such a big game. Lots of worlds, lots of levels to play through. Just awesome.
To me, Adam, when I think of that system, there's only one game I ever think of, even though we battered it. I've got 4 brothers, so we hammered every game. But for me, it was always NBA Jam. I absolutely loved NBA Jam for that game, for that system. I just
is that the one that when he's going downtown?
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's a man's jam. I loved it.
Yeah, I remember that. But Mario Kart on the SNES was probably my favorite. But I don't remember actually owning it, so it's not in my collection, sadly.
When you play Mario Kart now on the Switch, though, because my Claire, she has the Switch and she has Mario 8 on it, and I tell you, how good is it now? It's like, it's amazing, isn't it? How much it's come on. And back in the days of them blocks.
While we've got you, Big Adam, there's a bit of a controversy going on with Real Toy Dude here. Is it me or are there too many Adams in this community? He's saying it because Go Figure Adam's just turned up as well, hasn't he? So I think, I don't know, there's Adam, there's Real Toy Dude, there's obviously Adam Log, there's Go Figure. I can only think of 3. Who else is there?
Adam Man?
Adam Man.
I mean, are you suggesting I leave Adam? What's going on?
He wants your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Martyn, what have you got, buddy?
Okay. Right, now this is a special item, at least I think it is. Now this is a 1978 program that was sent to all cinemas in the UK to try and persuade them to show Star Wars at their theaters. This is a color brochure. You might have seen something similar to it on the documentary Empire of Dreams that they released about the original trilogy. Right. And it's basically a booklet that tells you all about the film. And Lucasfilm sent these out to, as I say, all the cinemas to try and get them to, show Star Wars at their theaters. Now, obviously, that wasn't too hard a thing to do, because obviously by then Star Wars had taken the world by storm in the US. But this I don't know if it's particularly rare. I have seen them about before, but
I've never seen it. I've never seen one of them.
It's one of those pieces of Star Wars history, and yeah, it's an incredible piece. And got this from a car boot sale.
Wow!
Which was
look at the condition of it as well.
It's in absolute mint condition. So yeah.
Probably you might be sat on something there. You might be sat on something there, Martyn. I've never seen that.
No, I mean, possibly. I don't think so. I think someone else looked into it, and it was. I think you could buy it for like 12 quid on eBay. But I think
you do know, as we're saying that, the missus is looking up Louis Vuitton bags as we're saying that, don't you? You do know that. How much?
Do you never think of framing stuff like that? Because like I've got my old Return of the Jedi Luke. I've had it since I was a kid. The pill's missing from it. It's battered. It's where I've crossed out all the figures I had and a need on the back of it. So I framed it because I didn't want to keep touching it. Did you ever think of doing anything like that, boys? Where you all anybody where you framed a piece of art like that? Because it's not as if you go through it every week, is it? But to keep it nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have had this on display in the past, but as us collectors all know, our displays tend to change quite a lot. I mean, I think last year I changed mine about 5 times last year.
Yeah.
And so this unfortunately didn't really have a place in my action figure room, so it goes in the tub, but it's still looked after and flatly kept in there. But yeah, if I had more space, you're absolutely right, Shabby, this would definitely be out on display, because as I say, it's a nice piece, and a bit of history of Star Wars. So yeah, I
think the issue with us lot is what we collect. It's like our size, and a collector, he'll collect what he wants, so he doesn't have to do like we're Black Series and we're vintage, so we're going to keep buying and buying them the more they make. But what we don't realize is the lack of space that happens like the Motu. I started the Motu collection in 4 years ago, and they've made over 100 figures, and it's just like, wow, where do I stick them up now? It's unbelievable. Do you think?
Yeah, Stu said in the chat then he can't believe you found that at car boot. That is a find, that's a find.
I can't take credit for finding it myself. A friend of mine, again, doing the whole Des thing, because it said Star Wars on it. My mate saw it, who I used to work with, and said, "Oh, Martyn will have that." It cost him a couple of quid. Brought it into work the following week. Said, "Do you want this?" I did a bit of research just to find out what it was, and I said, I can't, you can't just give me that, because I thought it was going to be worth thousands. But it wasn't really worth that much on eBay. There's quite a lot of them about, at least back then. I mean, it was over 12 years ago, but yeah, he found it at a carpet sale. Crazy.
Wow. Brilliant.
Yeah, Adam says here, yeah, those programs are $30 on eBay. Cool as balls, but they produce so many. I have a BT, Back to the Future one, and again, not worth loads, but it's more the story behind him. Lovely. Yeah, but it's stuff like, I think it's stuff like that I don't think the value comes into it. I think it's the case that you've got a piece of history in it, to tell you the truth. That's what it would be for me. Absolutely. Is that what it is for you? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just having something related, because I was born in 78, so my first film was Return of the Jedi at the cinema. Right. So I wasn't around for A New Hope. I'm sorry, Star Wars. And so anything I can sort of have in relation to that history of that film coming out is really special in my collection. So yeah, absolutely, Shabby.
I agree. Well, it's going back to what we said about the VHS and like what Adam's showing with the Nintendo stuff. Sometimes you're not going to play it again. You're not going to get a VCR and show it. It's just having it in it. It's having those things and so forth. Yeah, I agree. Geekstrong says the movie paperwork is incredible. I wish they made a Starlight popcorn bucket, just like the June Sandworm bucket. Right.
It's a weird bucket.
Genius.
Adam, what have you got?
Return of the Jedi on the SNES. That was my last SNES game to show. So yeah, getting into the Star Wars territory with it. Horrible game. Difficult, very difficult. We spoke about it a little while back on our channel, and it's just one of those games that was brutally hard.
Was it like I can't remember it. Was it like the arcade one where you had to do you were on a speeder bike? And it
was a side-scrolling game, wasn't it?
Right.
And then
I remember Luke Skywalker with his lightsaber in side to side.
Yeah, side-scrolling platform game. But it did have a mission where I don't know if you can see it, where you're in the Millennium Falcon there, and yeah,
they were renowned as the hardest games on the SNES, weren't they? Those 3 Super Star Wars games.
Yeah,
they were quality though, weren't they? The Star Wars games back in the day, they were a lot tougher and a lot more, a bit more advanced than other games, weren't they? If you went and released the game, you knew you were playing a good game.
Yeah, well, everyone's talking away. You're right, Adam. Look at that. Is this the first time? I'm professional. That's why we're getting elite YouTubers on here tonight, because I'm professional. I wanted to make sure that I was up and running. The only Star Wars game I really remember playing, but I don't remember what it was called, was the fighting Star Wars game. It was done like
Skazi.
It was like you could. It was obviously 2D, so you they were on each side. But I just remember the fighting game. But it's like Tez will pull out those Atari ones, and I have no idea what they are. If I haven't got much memory of it. But that fighting game, for some reason, I always remember that one.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, I've got a couple of comics. The first one is the Star Wars Weekly #1.
Nice.
Now, I don't know anything about comics, but from what I understand, some of these versions of these are quite rare. I don't think this is one of them, and it's not in the best condition. But I was in it was a jumble sale or something, or a charity shop or something like that, and they had a bundle of these in there, so I picked all those up. And I also managed to pick up a bundle of Return of the Jedi comics as well. And these are absolutely great. I mean, look at this. I mean, classic 80s. You've got the bits where people would write in and they draw their pictures and they get published. The kids would draw the pictures. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, that's just it's amazing. And I wish we still did stuff like this.
So do I. I'd still put it in now at 48. Gives me Boba Fett. Everyone goes to do that as a kid.
Yeah. Mine would look like that at 46. So
George from Norfolk, age 10. Simon from Blackpool, aged 48. Oh,
yeah, I tell you. And it used to always piss me off because I'd never get one published, and it used to always annoy me. But then I used to go, there's thousands of kids in there. It's always the posh kids.
GJC's played that Star Wars game, Adam, on his channel. It's a difficult game. You literally need Jedi reflexes to play it. Wow.
Oh, TJC will be
Masters of
listening to you,
Nintendo.
Adam. He'll be wanting you to come on Gaming Memories now. He knows you've got all these games, but you'll be good on that. All these games you've got.
I don't know about that. My memory of them is pretty vague, to be honest.
Mine is. Also,
I don't know why.
Because I'm like, and it's like I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the 90s. I'll just leave it as that. Maybe it was the 90s. I don't have much of memories now, but it's funny because I was like, no. I said, "I'll watch the SR," and I'll say, "No, I've got no memory of that." And I'll sign with me this massive novel. What are you talking about, you plug? We had this when we were kids, and we did this, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Aisha says, "I have the vinyl LP of the original music from the first Star Wars movie." Wow, that's awesome!
Nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's cool.
Okay, Adam, what have you got, buddy?
All right, what shall I show? Shall I move on to a Japanese Mario Kart for the Game Boy Advance? This is really cool. I don't know if you know, Nintendo UK used to be just down the road from us, and my sister's friend worked there as one of the managers, and she used to bring me loads of different like Nintendo games and consoles. I had an old Game Boy Advance. I think that was from Japan, but also she sent me that one, which I mean I don't know if it's probably not rare at all, but it's quite cool. It's quite a cool little
very
cool little game, cool artwork.
So
What you get over here.
What was there a few games in Japan that weren't released or something in the West? Is that what it was? Or
no, that was released over here, but I imagine it would have been probably a little bit before in Japan. It would have probably come out a little bit earlier in Japan. So
right,
I think I probably got hold of it before most people over here. I would have thought.
What was your favorite console as a kid?
I mean, it's always been Nintendo. Well, saying that, I grew up with a Master System to begin with, and then I started getting into all the Nintendo stuff. But N64 is probably my favorite, and we'll get into that. So I've got some of that stuff to hand as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, Martyn.
Okay, we have some classic Return of the Jedi puzzles. I don't know if you remember these guys.
Yeah, I've got that one. I've got the Jabba the Hutt one still.
Yeah, I used to have the Luke Skywalker one, but I can't find it anywhere. Where he's pointing the gun at Jabba with all the goons behind him. But I don't even know if these are still complete. But I've had these since I was a kid.
Oh man,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think the only person I know now that does puzzles is Kat, and it Vader's girl. She loves doing the puzzles and so forth. So that's awesome.
Let's keep it Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right, Connor. CC show my work every week.
Oh wow!
Jedi so couldn't complete that essay.
Oh, how good was that? I used to love Pod Racer. That was such a great game on it. Oh no, it's the other one. No, it's that one, isn't it? Yeah,
this is Pod Racer. Yeah, episode 1.
We had a full-size sitting one at Blackpool at Carl Island years back. We could sit in and sit in the cockpit. I spent some quids on that.
So that's the. I mean, it says limited edition, but they made thousands of these. It's not that limited. It's probably not that hard to come by these days, but limited edition.
Debatable. Some say that was the
64.
greatest controller ever made. What do you say? I think that is one of the best controllers I've ever.
I think they were
beautiful, weren't they?
Back in the day, definitely. Trying to play with. I took the N64 out a few years back now, and trying to play with it then was hard work when you start getting used to the old PlayStation controllers and whatnot. It's going back to an N64 controller is very difficult. So you got the triggers and everything all over the place. But back in the day,
it's like remotes went that sort of way, didn't they? After that, they went that sort of way with triggers at the back and all that business, and 2 extra lines. Yeah. Oh, 60 quid then, Martyn. So if you had a collection of them, 60 quid each. There you go.
Do you prefer old consoles or new ones? Because I don't know where this. You see, I'm totally different. I like the new stuff. Ted shows that Spectrum stuff.
I don't go as old as that, but going back to my N64 days, it just brings back memories of just playing those all day with my mates. Really.
Yeah. I suppose
it takes me back to that. It's all. Yeah,
got you. Mario Kart for the SNES was one of my favorite games. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's still great to play now. That version as well is still great to play now.
Yeah.
The one on the Nintendo system, not so great to play now.
TJC,
my brother Jamie, he bought me one every Christmas. Do you remember the little handheld ones you can get? And every Christmas they were coming out. You got like a Nintendo, then the Super Nintendo, and the Sega, and there were little systems.
Yeah.
Every Christmas, my brother Jamie was buying me one. He was getting me him in, and we tried to have a go on the like, original Mario Kart. We were like, "Oh, this is can't see it. It's all blocks."
Got a question here from BOE. Shabby, ask them if they have any Specky games for the Spectrum 48K.
No, they're not that sad.
No, don't go that far back.
What else also else on it? Okay, Martyn, what's next, buddy?
Okay, let's go back to when I don't know if they still do them, but Sunday supplements when you used to get in the paper. So we have an Attack of the Clones Sunday supplement when it
brilliant.
I don't know what paper that would have been. The Mail on Sunday, there we go. And then I've also got the Revenge of the Sith Sunday supplement for when that film came out. Now, you know, this was like early days of the internet for me, really. So I didn't really have much internet. So when you got this was great. You know, before the film came out, you'd analyze the pictures and you'd read every interview and you'd be like, oh, you know, I can't wait. So, yeah, I love these. I've never thrown them away because this is more towards the end of that innocent age before the internet. But this is like the last. I
sometimes miss days like that. You know, that's the way you found out about it. Or like your mum would let you stay up on a late night show if someone was on it from Star Wars, and you just wanted to find anything for the new movie, didn't you? Absolutely. It wasn't as accessible. So I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I had a VHS tape. Oh, sorry, mate.
No, you go on. You go on.
No, I had a VHS tape that whenever I heard that something was going to be on Star Wars wise, I'd stick it, if I was like either going to college or I was going to work, I'd stick it in the machine, press record before I left the house, and I put it on that extra long record so you could double the length of the VHS. And then I'd get home and I'd be sat there winding it forward, waiting for that moment where a trailer had been released or Samuel L. Jackson was on, you know, talking about Mace Windu or something. I don't know. And you know, all day I'll be like, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home and find that on the VHS tape.
Martyn, I know exactly what you're saying here. America's Top 10, late at night, having to stay up stupid o'clock in the morning to take 3 minutes of a Phantom Menace clip that you knew you weren't going to see yet. The Americans had already had it, so you tape it. You put all these little clips together on one video. Oh, I know the pain.
Yeah.
It's the long days.
When I lived in London, that was one of my favourite things to do. I'd buy all the Sunday papers, the big Sunday paper, because on Sundays you always got the bumper editions and the magazines and the extras. And I'd sit in Green Park or Hyde Park and I'd just read them all day. You know, I'd just sit there. I used to smoke at the time, so I'd take a pack of cigarettes and I'd just stay there all day just reading them. So I love those sort of things when you got supplements and stuff.
Amazing.
All right. I've got a selection of N64 games. I'm going to just show off a few of the not so great ones. I don't even remember how I got hold of this. Donald Duck's Quack Attack.
Quack Attack? What was that about?
Don't ask. I don't remember. I don't remember playing this at all. I don't know how it is in my collection. Might not be mine. It's just one of those games that found its way in. I call it a collection, but I don't know if you can call it that. Worms. I've got Worms.
Oh, great game. Great.
Worms is great. Yeah. And then let's go with this one. Oh, God. Sorry, Derek. World Cup 98.
Oh,
the console. This was a brilliant game. Yeah.
Do you remember that side? That's what I do remember.
Probably, you know, some argue greatest football game ever made.
Yeah.
Do you think? I do remember because you could
think for that, yeah.
Obviously, the N64 was the first console, wasn't it? With where you can have 4 players, and I think, like, I don't remember.
No, you're right.
You might have been able to get an attachment for the SNES to play with 4. I can't quite remember, but I remember playing. There was 8 of us playing World Cup 98 in a room. We all picked a team, and we'd pass the controllers around, and it was just. I'll
tell you a story about that.
Brilliant.
So, we started Tub Thumpers was Si had a few tubs upstairs, and the plumbers were in at Si's, and Si had to move all his stuff, and he said, "Oh, I've got these." He found an old notebook in there, right? So there's this old notebook in there, and he opened it up, and it's like Si said, we've got 2 other brothers, so there's 4 of us. And it's an old record of the leagues and scores and everything from FIFA when we all started playing World Cup soccer and FIFA all the way back from Nintendo days.
Yeah, because my mates would come out, we'd all play it, wouldn't we, Mark? There'd be quite a few of us playing that game, so you'd have to keep a record on, because they were days like you didn't see the seasons before and stuff. And they were great.
Didn't keep the stats, did it? I remember me and my mate played one of the very early FIFA 94, I think, FIFA International, FIFA 95. And I remember we were Rangers and like having to, for some reason, and it was
could have been worse. Could have been Liverpool.
Write down all of the goals scored and who scored it and all sorts. Yeah, it's good fun.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Adam says that's worth about £50. That Donald Duck game, just like that. Look at that. That's not bad.
Kidding. Get some astronauts.
Wow. Yeah, good.
I love Duck.
That's going on eBay tonight.
World Cup 98, when did that come out? 97 it came out.
97 probably.
Well, no. Remember, the past was the future, so it'll be out in 20 years.
Look at the sculpture of the console cartridges compared to now.
Yeah, 96, 97.
Martyn knows.
97, yeah.
Okay, is this something that might make Des a little bit jealous? But I've got 2 Rebels. What are these called, Shabby? I always forget the name of these.
The Stanley Cups. Are they?
Stanley Cups, yeah.
Well, we all know our Des loves these Stanley Cups, don't we? So
yeah. So yeah, I got these when I was in Florida, and they had like, it was before Rebels had started, and they were trying to promo it. So there was a thing at Hollywood Studios. So yeah, me and Steph got a couple of these, and never been used, never been looked at, just sat in a box. But they're kind of cool. Do
your wives like this sort of stuff? Do they enjoy all the pop culture? Because my wife won't have any of it. No chat. I asked her to go to Joe Fest. It ended in off. Do you know what I mean? She's not one. Do your wives like all getting involved in doing all the pop culture?
Steph absolutely loves coming to the shows. Coming to the. We used to go to Comic-Cons all the time. She loves going to that. She's extremely supportive with my collecting and everything.
She's a dab hand behind the camera as well.
She holds the camera, and Adam and I are doing like toy hunts and stuff, which is so yeah, she's really, really great when it comes to my hobby. So I can't say enough good stuff. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Oh, what about you?
Yeah.
What about yours?
Not quite the same. My side. But you're going out again. I think another toy hunt.
You see, size missing. She collects as well, Claire. So she's into it. But my wife supports it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like she's not an issue me doing it, but trying to get her involved. No, she used to do the videos with me. She used to come on there. But what made them funny was because she wasn't interested. So that's what made those videos good. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
No, I get if I hear Echo Bass one more time. That's what I get. You bloody Echo Bass. I can say it because she's not there. So.
Look at that. See that?
Are you doing Echo this year? Are you going to Echo this year?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We determined, me and Luke Reynolds, saying that we've missed the last few Echoes. This year we're definitely going to Echo, so I'll see you both there. We'll be there.
Yeah, I've still got to broach the subject with the wife, but.
There you go, George.
Tell her the fan of the show's going, so you have to go now because Simon's like looking forward to seeing it, and you have to sign stuff for me, so you have to go. Tell her.
Maybe we can involve you in the challenge somehow, that we do every time.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, in fact, I'll give you both a tenner each. See what you get for me.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I like that.
We have to get you something and a tenner.
Yeah.
Well, Georgie says, those cups could be Turvis tumblers. I have a couple. Then Georgie also says Steph rocks. And then the lovely Steph says Georgie. There she is. Hi, Steph.
Oh, Chabby, just quickly. Steph sent me an email because she's in the other room. She said she was absolutely in tears watching all your video presentation of all of our pictures. But she's also asked me to ask you if she can get the My Little Pony picture because she wants to print it out.
Yeah. I've got it. I'll send it after this. I'll send it straight to you. So
Nice.
yeah, brilliant. Good old Simon, My Little Pony. Oh man. Okay, Adam, what have you got, pal?
Couple more N64. Well, I've got a load more N64 games, but F1 World Grand Prix.
Nice.
That was always a good game. I always enjoyed my racing games, but not much can be said about this. But yeah, summer games, track and field summer games was one of my favorite games to play with one of my mates. I don't know if you remember this, but the 100-meter race where you both sat there just tapping away like that.
Did you not do the lighter trick?
Mashing the controllers.
You got your light between two buttons like that. You put your light between them, go like that. Your lighter would make it rapid.
Yeah.
Not that I encourage smoking at such a young age, Mum. And I never smoked. It was my mate's lighter. It wasn't my lighter. It was my mate's mum. If you're still watching, so
yeah.
Can I ask all three of you? Can I ask all three of you a serious question? Have you ever known Des not to go on holiday? He's always on holiday. And I swear, he's got a tattoo of his address on his hand so he remembers where he lives. Do you know what I mean?
He works hard in. He's always up ruse and stuff. He deserves an holiday, that lad. Anytime he wants, he's always working hard.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Des going on holiday, never heard it. Oh, well, enjoy yourself. Martyn, what did you have?
Okay, what should we go for next? Okay, let's go for a couple of silly things. I have a Darth Vader and Stormtrooper straw set.
It's like just keep anything.
Yeah,
because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, but this one takes the biscuit. It's a packet of Star Wars plasters with images of the characters on the plasters. This was from my mum as a present.
Brilliant.
It's absolutely mental. So yeah.
Do you know why
you need, Martyn? It's not so bad. C3PO's on it, so it's not so bad.
Say. Do you know why people collect stuff like that? Do you know why?
Of course, why?
It is funny though, stuff like that, isn't it? That you keep stuff just, it's like, oh, Star Wars on it. So
do you know the maddest one I think? When people keep cereal and biscuits and don't empty the contents, I find that crazy. You know, they've got like cereal and biscuits and they didn't open them at all and they're like 40 years old. Like, what's in that thing?
Yeah. Martyn, that's just reminded me about the Pez dispensers. So since starting the channel, obviously I get I'm known as the Star Wars guy in my friendship group now, and people just give me the random things. And I forgot to bring them down, but I've got a load of old Pez dispensers from like 2010 with Star Wars characters on, and I completely forgot to get them, but they're upstairs.
Adam, you've got a question here, Adam. Do you have the track and field gamepad? Everyone wants to see you run the pad. He wants you to do all sorts, doesn't he?
Trying to get me to be active.
Plastic straws, they are very rare these days. They're all paper straws. Not over here, though, because I heard the first time I heard that, Adam, was our side on Tez. No, it was Tez saying bloody paper straws. And I was like, paper straws? Over here, there's no paper straws yet. They're all still plastic. So
it's probably an amendment, isn't it? You're not allowed to.
Hey, Nate. Nice to see you, pal. Good old Nate's here. All right. What's next?
What should I go with? Let's go with some Nintendo. Official Nintendo things. What would you call them? Exclusives. Wave Race 64.
Oh, Wave Race, brilliant.
Love this game. Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi's Story.
Another great. And I've got Diddy Kong Racing. Liked
racing brilliant
game.
as well.
Diddy Kong Racing was good, but obviously Mario Kart 64 was one of the best. Yeah.
Whose character you always on Mario? My character was always Mushroom.
For me.
What's it called? What's he called?
Toad.
Yeah, Toad. Always Yoshi. Fastest.
Always
Yoshi second. Yeah. Never Mario. It was always them two because they were rapid.
Yeah.
What was your favourite game, side back then on the Nintendo? Because obviously Adam showing loads of Nintendo. What was your favourite?
The truth is, like, I've had this talk with Tez and the other Terry. And throughout all your life, especially our generations, you've had a favorite game on every system. You know, there always has been. But if I could go back and say what my 2 favorite ever games were, there were Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Tomb Raider 2. For me, Battlefront 2 close second, but for me, them 2 they'll always be standouts for me. I've spent hours on them. I just loved them.
It was the soundtrack for Vice City, wasn't it? It was the soundtrack for that.
Great.
It was.
Yeah.
And when I knew that
game,
GTA 6 was coming back, now that I'm 50 next year, so this will be my last ever GTA, considering that this one's been out for 12 years. I'm not going to be playing GTA at 62, 63. I don't even think I'll be here. Never mind.
You probably will, Si. You probably will.
You know, to say that my last Grand Theft Auto for me is going to finish on my favorite ever one, Vice City. Sometimes your worlds just collide, don't they? It's just
I think Martin has nicked one of your tubs, Des T. That's what Kieran says right there.
Yeah,
they're very similar to Des's. Yeah.
I think we all have had Ball Star. We do all have it. Yeah, it's funny. I've still got those clocks. Remember the Yoda clock and the Inquisitor. That when you press the button, the lights are around and shows you the time. I still got that with my piece. It is funny.
It's like Martin then, Mark, with that catalogue, and I've said this a few times to the Star Wars collectors. We all collect Star Wars, but the amount of stuff that people have different or you've never seen before, you've never owned it in a Star Wars collection. It's through the roof in this community, isn't it? Through the roof.
There we go.
Now, this might be counted as something you might have never seen before. Now, you know, Star Wars is renowned for always having exclusives in whatever item, you know, a company wants to sell. They try and get Star Wars on it.
Yeah.
Well, this year, this is a Return of the Jedi, and I don't think they even have these out in the world anymore. But it's a phone card that you would use in a phone box, see the BT logo there, and there's the 5 points or 5 units you would use in the phone box. Yeah, it's an exclusive card, and of course, I saw this and I was like, well, you know, I'm never going to use that phone card, but I need it because look at that awesome picture.
But I need it. Yeah.
I mean, I just love that picture is amazing, you know, and it's Return the Jedi as well. So, yeah,
that's great.
Again, I prior to doing this, I obviously had a quick look through, and it was one of those things I'd completely forgotten that I had. And
everybody says that every week. Oh, I forgot I had that. You know, yeah, that's awesome.
I
imagine. What did you do? Just phone your missus over nothing? Are you all right? What are you doing just using these credits? You know
I mean, do they even still have phone boxes anymore? I don't think they do. Do they?
No.
Oh, if they do, they're all smashed up, aren't they? We still have red phone boxes in Blackpool, but there's never anything in them apart from some homeless guy pissing his pants or something. That's all it's in them, you know. It's like
makes you want to go, doesn't it? For holiday, makes you want to go. Depends where you are, Shabby. California has paper straws and they dissolve before you. I know. I always thought that when Tez was telling me about it, I thought that's a bit weird.
There's nothing worse than a soggy end, is there? Nothing worse.
Stephanie says Diddy Kong Racing was my jam. I completed it so many times. What? I can't remember. Was it done the same way as Mario Kart, Adam?
Yeah, but you could. You had planes and stuff as well, so you could fly and and boats as well. Or little boats, I think, from memory. Yeah.
So agree, Matt. Great. Always Cooper. So Matt's collection.
Yeah, Cooper was good.
Cooper was the best one in there.
And was always told.
Donald Duck is by far the most expensive N64 game you had there, but I think Mario Kart goes for about 20. It's nice he's doing all his research while he's
watching. I'm sponsored by the Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Hey, G-Force, nice to have you back. Okay, my friend, what are you going to show us?
Off the back of the GTA chat, I've got a little Grand Theft Auto on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh,
I wasn't going to show that, but seeing as you spoke about it, I was going to say about the one of the games on the N64 that everyone should have, really.
Oh, the legend that is.
Yeah.
The greatest shoot game there's ever been. In my opinion.
Why is it the greatest?
It's GoldenEye. They've all been based off that.
It was the first. It was the original and the best, wasn't it? I think. At the time, they just did such a good job with that game. But
soundtrack as well,
the soundtrack's great. But the same team went on to create a game on GameCube, which is my favorite game, Time Splitters 2.
Don't know great game.
That was my first game on the PlayStation 2. It came with the PlayStation, Time Splitters 2.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and that I poured so many hours into that game. That was probably my favorite game of all time. Randomly.
Brilliant.
There's not much to it, but yeah.
Delvin says, I have a Darth Vader bottle opener somewhere. It's awful, but I can't part with it because it's Star Wars. Everybody says the
Well, that's
same
what we were
thing.
like. Me and my brother Jay, we could spend hours and hours on GoldenEye. And I mean, literally, when he got that golden gun one shot, God, I could piss Jay off all night with that. Bang, see you later.
I know. That's funny that I thought that, Des, as well. As soon as Martin said phone calls, I was, wow. Because I remember getting my first mobile phone and it cost me an absolute fortune. You know what I mean? All the
quid would last me like, what was it? Like a quid a text though on it and stuff, or then it went down to 20p a text message.
I also remember that thing when I first got to the States that I thought, because you'd see teenagers on the phone in American movies and so forth, and then, oh no, you don't pay for phone calls over here. And I'm like, oh, awesome. I remember going to a hotel, being on the phone to our side for an hour. My bill was nearly $200. And I thought it was for free. So I'm just running outside going, hey, mate, you're all right, talking anything, for about an hour. And then I got the bill the next day, and I thought, oh, well, obviously not. Oh,
yeah. Brilliant.
Okay, what we got?
Okay. Well, we've got a selection of magazines here. We've got, do you remember these Star Wars Galaxy magazine?
No, what are they? I don't remember them at all.
Yeah.
Great covers.
Yeah, they were just like comic book information about Star Wars. I mean, you've got some, I don't know if you can see some unproduced Star Wars toys that they, all sorts of stuff. You got Super Return Jedi there. There's a review of the game. It's all
nice.
Just basically. What's the new Star Wars magazine called these days? Insider, I think it is. It's like
Insider.
This is 1995. These came out, so yeah, it's just the official Lucasfilm magazine. There we go. It says at the top. So I got those. And do you guys remember Starlog magazine?
No, what's that?
Impressive.
Yeah, Starlog magazine. It was all sci-fi. So you got in this one, you got stuff about aliens, and you've got Batman Returns in here, I think, as well. Batman Returns. No way. And this was March 1992, possibly. I think it is. Super Turrican on the back for the Super Nintendo, so that works out about roughly right, doesn't it? So I kept all of these from when I was at school, because again, going back to what we said earlier, Star Wars had finished, but I was eager for any kind of information to do with Star Wars, whatever it was. And I've always been a sci-fi fantasy guy, so these magazines were my lifeline in the early 90s. So
I remember Empire. My two were Empire and GQ. I loved GQ as well, but I went off. Do you want me to tell you why I went off GQ? When I was in my early 20s, they did a segment on Romeo Beckham. It was about 8, 9 at the time. He was only a kid, like 8, 9, and they made him the 9th best dressed person in England. I never bought that magazine again. Never bought it again because I know what a joke. You know what I mean? I thought, he's in his bedroom going, well, I know this tie will work lovely with this shirt. I forget that. So. Well, Empire. I was a big fan of Empire magazine when I was a kid. I loved that one.
Yeah. I mean, I used to get Empire all the time. Back in those days, it was the only real source you had for any movie news or anything that was happening. Yeah, it was great.
The race for the golden gun. There you go.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
not
a real
research,
gamer.
I know stuff. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I own a mate of mine owns a retro computer shop, and I'm there every week probing him. Oh yeah.
Just leave it at that, Mark, and go on.
Oh, sorry, there's a bit more. Yeah, I'm a numbers person, ain't I? Remember numbers easy. Brilliant. Okay, Adam, what have you got, pal?
That's good, Adam. Because this one, I believe, is quite a pricey one. Mario Party 3. I think this is probably worth a little bit more than the Donald Duck game, to be honest.
Wow.
Another great game. But I hear this is one of the hardest ones to get hold of on the N64. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I know that one's quite pricey. And what's the other one? Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't know if you remember that. That was a bit of a pricey one too. And I did have that, but I don't know where it's gone. which is a bit sad.
Oh.
But Mario Party
Even
3.
when you think they're there, but they're not. Where it is. Then you go and look and you're like, where is it? It's like the world's ending for something you weren't asked about for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly.
I actually collected rare GQ covers. They are and limited edition ones. The Beckham ones are worth the most. Well,
the Beckham ones are worth shit. Let me tell you that. Play for the wrong red.
Okay.
Worth nothing in Man and Martin's house.
No.
My friends and I spent hours on Mario Party games. Yeah, I think
we did.
Steph. I mean, everybody loved all those stuff because you'd always have your mates around, wouldn't you? It's like your PlayStation now. You'll sit on your own, you know, or you'll go online, so your mates don't have to come round, if you will, you know. But back then, you always had people around, didn't you, playing stuff like that? So,
well, I still think that was a better way of playing, though. And you had a room full and you pass your pad on and stuff. I mean, this online gaming and stuff, it's great in like GTA. God, you can have up to 40 players on some races, but you're lonely playing them in a sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like when everyone was round and you were passing it, God, you had some of the biggest laughs of your life.
The co-op game.
You sit there with your headphones on. No one's talking. It's weird, isn't it?
I sorely miss co-op games because I just sit there with my mates and you'd split the screen either 2 ways or 4 ways. And you know, like the Battlefront game, Battlefront 2 from '94 or 5, whenever it was. The best part of that game was when I had a mate over and we'd play split screen because
split down the middle one. That was.
I think it was horizontal.
You could do it both ways, couldn't you, on Battlefront? You could have it split vertical or split horizontal. So I think that's one of the first to do both.
Yeah,
because most of the car games they were horizontal split, weren't they?
Yeah,
one at the top, one at the bottom.
Right. Retro Tinker, our Nate says. Conker's Bad Fur Day is one of my all-time favorite games. You know that one, Adam?
Conker's
they just said it there.
Yeah, it's a classic. That's a really good one.
Thanks for listening, Shabby.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I was doing the things. Thanks,
Next time, Adam, before you explain something, just let him know. Just give him a nudge first. Let him know that you're like going to explain it.
I've got 4 kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm me for nightmare. All right, Martin, what have you got, buddy?
Now, in 1994, I went to a Star Wars convention in a little town called Sudbury, which I believe Adam will tell me. I think it was in Essex, Sudbury, if Adam's listening still. And it was a little village hall, and there was a Star Wars convention there. And I was meant to go with a mate on the train, and I was only 15 at the time, but he couldn't go. He was sick. So I made the monumental decision at 15 years old to go on my own to this thing. And it was my first experience at a Star Wars convention. And, you know, I was a little boy, really, heading off to this little town hall. And I got there, and to this day, I remember it as being one of the greatest days of my life. And I met all these Star Wars actors when I was there. And the first one was Warwick Davis, who signed, you know, this autograph circa 1994. Jeremy Bullock signed to me. Caroline Blakeston and Dermot Crowley, Mon Mothma and General Madine.
There's 2 names you don't see in it. 2 autographs.
And Bruce Bower, who played General Rytkin. I got his while he was there as well. And I got one more, but the story, obviously we all know Warwick Davis was a huge Star Wars fan, and they did a panel in this village hall where they all sat on the stage, which was probably more used to doing school plays and things. And he whispered something into Caroline Blakeston's ear, and she just said out loudly, "Many Bothans died to bring us this information." And the whole room of about 250 people just erupted with cheers.
I bet it did, yeah.
For 15-year-old me, who was really nervous about going to something like this for the first time on his own, it just made my day. It was just one of the greatest days, and I'm so glad I've done this because I knew I had these, but I'd forgotten a little bit about them, and to see them all again brought all these memories flooding back. And the last autograph I have in there is obviously the man, Dave Prowse. I remember
lovely bloke, Bonnie.
Yeah, he was a great bloke. I sent him a postal order of all things that we used to have, and he sent me this back. And I met him once at a convention, and he would be happy to chat to you for ages. He didn't care.
I met him at Burnley, Star Wars Fun Day in Burnley.
Oh,
and
cool.
he signed mine. And I agree with everything you've just said. He no rushing at all. He was just like, he'll talk to you, he'll do this. I think yourself, you're not going to be long with him, but you didn't felt rushed with him. He was a lovely bloke. Yeah, that's a lovely thing. So Steph says here, so true, Shabby, miss having a group playing video games and passing the controller. Exactly, that's what it was all about. But it felt, did you not notice, it felt forever, didn't it? It wasn't your turn. It was like you were there for hours, like waiting and waiting. So brilliant. Yeah. Okay, Adam, what have you got, pal?
I got a couple of boxed games as well. If you're into your wrestling, I got WrestleMania and No Mercy on the N64. These were both classics. Me and my mate played these for hours. We just did like Royal Rumbles and all sorts. Back in the days when wrestling was hilarious, I suppose. It's still WWF.
Who was your favourite wrestler?
I don't know.
I think we've all got a favourite, whether you liked it or not, haven't we? I think we've all got a favourite.
I did used to like Shawn Michaels, but I don't know. He was a bit. I think he's a bit of a wrong one. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they all are. They're always up to. They're all criminals, aren't they? My favourite was always the Big Boss Man. I used to like his shades and stuff, dressed as that copper. I always liked him.
When you found all those wrestling figures sat in that tub, I went back and the Royal Rumble, 1992's Royal Rumble was on YouTube, so I watched it, and it's so weird how you remembered all these lads like Ric Flair, the British Bulldog, Legion of Doom, and because I couldn't say we're wrestling now. Yeah, people like that, and I just thought it was back then. I mean, I'm not gonna make it out like I was the biggest fan, but I think everybody loved the WWF late 80s, early 90s. We all loved it, didn't we?
There's only 2 words, Mark, big in wrestling today, and that's Becky Lynch. That's all you need to know about wrestling today.
The man.
Sudbury is an hour from me, North Essex. All right, so we've got that there.
WWE, I was the same. 80s, early 90s. I didn't miss an event. Loved it. Got out of it, then started rewatching it in 2001, and on and off, I still watch it now. I absolutely think it's a form of entertainment like no other. And when it gets you, it really, really gets
hypnotic, isn't it?
It is. It really grip. You know, everything you're seeing on that screen is scripted and it's part of a storyline. But it's as gripping as watching Game of Thrones. Sometimes it's.
It's
honestly,
true.
I genuinely love wrestling. I think it's an art form. And you're right, Becky Lynch, the man, is the man. I did a wrestling promo for you. Okay, next up I've got all mine seems to be like paper and books and stuff, but
that's what we want, something different. It's what's in your tubs.
Do you know when you go to Disney World you get these little park maps,
right?
You get a park map of the
Geez, how many times have you been to Disney World? Look how many.
Steph, it's like Steph and I's home, really, Disney World. We always say that one day we'll probably move to Florida because we love it so much. But these are all from Star Wars weekends, dating back to 2011. All the park maps, and obviously they do exclusive park maps. And because it says Star Wars on it, of course I'd have to pick them up. And then I'll just do these as well to get these out of the way. I'm sure we all had these growing up as kids. Star Wars annuals. I mean, these are battered. These are my childhood ones.
I've still got my childhood ones here.
I just found one when Scuba was here, and me and G-Force and Scuba and Leslie went to Ashborough, and I found the red Return of the Jedi annual. I couldn't believe it. And it's
funny though, because it's the St. Michael's ones. It's the Marks and Spencer's one, isn't it? Yours the St. Michael's one. Does it say St. Michael's on the back of the red one?
Oh, the red one. It's
you Return of the Jedi red.
Yeah, future publications. Marks and Spencer's DLC.
Yeah, that's it.
Michael's, Michael's. Yeah, look at that. Look how old it is.
I know. And for me, right, if that book doesn't say the Marks and Spencer's on it, it's like it's not Star Wars, though, is it? It's weird, isn't it?
But I mean, how long? Again, going back to what we said earlier, how long would you just sit and look at the same picture? Let's just pick a picture out here. I mean, that you open that up, that's the front. When you open it up, it's just like wow.
Always reminds me of the Panini sticker album, that picture, because it came in 4s, that one. Do you remember? And you had to do the 4. But that's what Si's always said. It's the images of Return. There it is, yeah.
Oh, Return of the Jedi is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made.
Yeah.
And it's when, for me, Star Wars got proper stylistics. Everything looks mint. You got biker scouts. Darth Vader never looks as big. Luke's in black. Return of the Jedi is the greatest of them all.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion.
No, don't disagree. It's my favourite of all the Star Wars films, I think.
Yes, our Si's favourite, yeah.
But it does change, but, you know, I think Return of the Jedi...
It's funny we say that, though, because which one are you turning off? You're not, are you?
No.
You know, as I've said that before, where...
The Last Jedi.
Well, that's a definite... That's if it's ever on again. Well, okay, Adam.
Last one for me.
Okay.
Although Adam's kind of blown my bubble with the sort of price on this one, but Mario Party 3 mint in box. Like this, I've got 2 copies of Mario Party. I went up to the loft. All of a sudden, there's 2 copies. Don't know where they came from, but Mario Party 3. And as I said, I thought this one was worth a fair bit of cash. So I decided to put it in a little case and try and look after it a little bit. It's great game though.
Awesome.
The thing is, things like that in the right hands, in the right people, it probably is. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. I've got comic books where some people will tell me they're only worth a couple of £100, whereas I know they're worth a lot more than a couple of £100. You know what I mean?
Well, so I figured I could
well to keep it wrapped.
I figured I could sell that and get more of in my own collection at some point, in my Star Wars collection. Actually, fund my Star Wars collection.
You know what I mean? Everything's up and down. At one point, the market's low. At one point, the market's high. If you ever decide to do that game again or go revisit it, that game will triple in price. You know, it's just it's one of them, isn't it? How the market is.
We have a great game anyway. Back in the day.
We have breaking news from Jonathan. He's got 3 words for you, Si. Becky Lynch's arse.
John Knowles.
That's his 3. We've got Pat Roach was a great wrestler. Here we go. I used to get the hots over the Undertaker.
Interesting.
Well, are you sure that just gives away your secrets? It's a bit gothic.
Adamiri said I ran 2 wrestling shows out of my church and it was pandemonium. Really? Did you?
That's cool.
He's a legend. Triple H for me. Look at Steph. Oh, she likes that. Triple H.
Yeah, I can see the likeness in Martyn.
I can see the resemblance.
I can see it.
All right, Martyn, what have you got, buddy?
Okay, you mentioned mobile phones earlier. I found this.
I
found it in the box.
You should charge us who your contacts are. Do you know what I mean?
An Ericsson A1018S. There, whatever.
Orange, is it an orange as well? Is that the orange logo on it?
Yeah, the orange logo. Yeah, Sean B.
Is that not the one that you had to put? When I had the phone, I had to put the whole card in my phone, like a bloody credit card, actually in the phone. Do you remember? Was that one of them ones?
It's got a SIM card port in the back, but I don't know. Won't linger on that one too much. And then I've got a Star Wars technical journal. Now this is extremely cool. This basically has all of the vehicles, characters, you name it, in there. For example, here's a Star Destroyer. So you want to find out the technical specifications of a Star Destroyer. You pull this out and it folds out like that. But then also on the other side, you have how the inside of the Star Destroyer works, where everything is. All the blueprints. Yeah. This is great. I'm so chuffed to find this again because I'm going to read this probably before I go to bed tonight. This is great. So this has got everything like that in it. It's even got the detention block AA23 plans on it, just in case I wanted to break the princess out.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there you go.
Stuff like that.
It's great. I think this is
brilliant.
Great.
Absolutely brilliant.
The thing is as well, though, Martyn, if you ever wanted to build dioramas like they all do and stuff, you could go back to them sort of plans for them detention blocks and build them as they were done, I
might send it to Hasbro.
Make this next.
Oh dear. Just quickly before I go, I did find this. This is a Star Wars Shadows of the Empire N64 box, and I do have the game somewhere, but it's not in there. So that's my contribution to the gaming.
Yeah.
And when he finds it, straight to Adam.
Straight
That's
to
very
Adam.
nice. That's a nice cousin.
Yeah.
Let's get some games
Been
back.
pretty good with that, yeah. Yeah.
So is your tub done too?
Mine.
Martyn? Yeah.
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 Ooh,
I know Adam's is done.
I'm ready to stop when you want me to, but I can keep going until you don't want me
No,
to.
carry
so-
on.
No,
You
no,
go.
right, yeah,
We've
for
got
if we
5
get
more
some more
minutes.
stuff to
Yeah,
go.
you go.
Do you remember the Hamilton collection? Okay, the Hamilton
These
collection.
plates.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
They are plates with 22 karat gold rims apparently. And I have
So
all,
have I.
yeah. Now these I love. I mean, look at this one. Look at the artwork on this one. I mean,
Yeah, beautiful.
that looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's absolutely stunning.
They are nice to have.
Because I've done all three. I'll have to show you the Jedi one because this is a beauty as well. I mean, look at that. That's I love that. It just feels very 90s to have it on your wall these days, though, doesn't it? Having a plate.
I'd have them all. Bring back the 90s. I'd have them all up.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd get away with it, but I would like them out somehow because they do look really, really nice. Sorry, will I fiddle
Exactly
around
right, DTM. Exactly right. Minting
Yeah,
box.
because your room's specific, isn't it?
is.
Your room is very like figure eccentric. All your figures have actually took over, haven't you? And the way you've displayed them, it's basically a bit like I don't know, the front facing, aren't they? There's no side facing, and
yeah, I've kind of tried to lay it out a bit like not a museum, but I don't know how you would present it if perhaps you had a shop or something like that. I don't know really how to explain it, but before I had so many, I would have a bit of this over here and a bit of that over there. But I just like, is it just me? But as a collector, I like to walk in here and the aesthetics. That's what I like.
100% you. I have to have my room like yours. It's like if I make myself big right now for a sec, I'll show you what I mean. It has to be neat and tidy, and I can't stand a mess. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, isn't it, where you come into a room and it's nice to have, away from your kids, away from everything else. So, you've done work for the day and just come in. But do you spend time in it? Because I really, if I'm making a video or I'm putting something away, I'll spend time in it. But if I'm watching the TV, I'll go in the front room. If I'm playing PlayStation or something, I'll stay in here. But I don't spend that much amount of time in here. So are you the same way?
No, I mean, yes, when I'm in here doing something with Adam, obviously I'm in here all the time, but I do find myself, sometimes I just come in here, sit in my chair and I'll spin around and I'll just sort of point myself in that direction and I'll just be with myself. Do you know, does that make weird sense? I don't know. I'll be one with the Force or something.
Yeah.
Cheesy like that.
One with the Force, I'll write that down. One with the Force. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I can sit in here and I can just be melancholy and daydream about stuff and think. I find it my room of relaxation. That's something else we could call it. So but yeah, I do spend a fair amount of time in here, to be fair. At the moment not so much because it's so bloody hot, but this is my front room, so the sun's hitting the front of the house all day, so I have a fan on here constantly because I'm worried so much that the heat's going to take the glue off the bubbles.
That's what we're lucky about in the States. We have my air conditioning's in the floor and it comes up, so I'm fine in here, but so I can imagine what it's been like over there. Yeah. So
Adam, does your wife ever look at Martyn's room and say to you, "No chance, sunshine, no chance"? Did you ever do that?
We didn't let her in there, did we, Martyn?
We don't let her in.
You'll think my house is looking like his house. You could forget it.
Right, Martyn, we've got enough for one more thing. If you want to show one more thing, pal.
Okay, well, I stole this from my wife's clothes. This is a Her Universe T-shirt
nice.
that Ashley Eckstein does, and if you look in the center, I don't know if you can quite see that, but
we can.
Ahsoka Tano signed in the center there. So we met her when we were in Florida, and she was kind enough to sign a few things for us. So I mean, I could go on for 3 or 4 hours, but obviously no one else.
Listen, we always say, with people that've got a lot of stuff. We always say, would you like to come back and do a part 2 in the future?
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's many on here that, you know, it's not just one tub they've got. It's like,
oh yeah, they say we're all pals. Do you know what I mean? You come on whenever you like. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was a long time ago's Tub Thumpers. So I've never, I mean, time goes fast, but I've never known this to go this fast. It's been, I've loved this episode. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Great fun.
yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll catch up with the chat and then we'll say our goodbyes. So if anyone hasn't subscribed to a long time ago, the link for their channel is in the description, but I'm sure one of the lads will put it up in the chat as well. But we'll subscribe to us. It's our size favorite channel. It's our size favorite. So you've got to watch. I couldn't believe it. I remember you messaged me saying, I don't believe those lads have been on ZSR. I watched them.
Yeah. Was that joke? Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. We all need a burner phone. Well, I don't know about that. Let's do that. JR, the region changes its plan. Is he talking about phones? Martyn, your room is absolutely jam-packed with stuff. Please tell us you don't have any more room to place any more things.
There's a small amount of room just above my head and a tiny bit of room on a wall over there. But you may have noticed over the last few weeks that these shelves here, they used to be flat against the wall. They've now become 1 foot out shelves. So I know Steph's watching in the other room, so I'll be quite careful what I say. But, you know, I think they look quite good and they do fit a lot more stuff on them. So,
yeah. Yeah, it looks
as
good.
he's talking, Mark, she's filling that chamber now. Filling it. ready for him.
I think if you go to the chat.
Go on, say it. Go on.
And can I ask you another question? The yellow thing behind you, that's obviously filling up the original vintage figures. Is that where it stands now? Is that the empty space is what you're looking for, what you'd be picking up?
Yeah, about 2 years ago, I decided I won an auction, and in this auction there was a ton of, well, as I say, there was 3 graded Kenner figures, and obviously I was aware of the action figure grader John, and I watched his shows about the vintage collection every week, and I held these in my hand. He's great.
Yeah,
he's another guy who you can just message and ask about stuff, and he's more than happy to get straight back to you and let you know. And so I picked up these 3 graded figures, and I thought, God, they look really nice in those acrylic cases. They just something in the light just made me fall in love with them. So I said to Adam, I might start collecting these. I might try and get the 96 in a graded form. So we decided to do a little series on it, and we've had a 2-year running series now where every time I pick a few up, you know, we'll sort of document how much they cost and try and come up with hopefully if I finish, I mean, I'm reaching the really expensive last 17 now, but you know, it'd be nice to have a series out there to sort of say, okay, because I will always barter and try and get the best deals as possible to see how many of the 96 you can get and for how much. So I think I've got, was it 72 now of the 96, I think. So we're getting there, but
are you fussy though? Are you one that's like, I mean, Adam will tell you, we've all been to Echo, and sometimes you can pick up figures for like £2 and they go all the way up to thousands, and it's the same figure. Yeah. Sometimes I'm a bit like, well, why are people so like bothered with this certain sort of? You can get it for £4, grab it. That's one on your wall. It looks the same as the $5,000 one, and
absolutely.
Maybe that's just my way of thinking.
No, that's the problem with putting a grade on them, isn't it?
Yeah.
A grade on it, and it's
I mean, I don't care what variant it is, as long as I get one of the 96. So that's a good start. I started off, right, I want to get 85s and 90s. That's what I want to get. Soon that rule disappeared when
quickly.
I realized how much.
Really?
So, 70s and 75s have started to appear in the collection because, you know, and also if I haven't yet, but if I've always said if I come across something that's got its weapon is in good condition, I'll be happy to send it off for grading myself because it'll be a cheaper way of doing it. But I mean, it's something I really love them. I think they look fantastic in graded cases.
You do.
I feel,
sorry, I was just going to say, Drew made that incredible case in the collector displays.
That was the first one.
The first one, and it's.
I like that Darth Vader helmet one he did. That's really cool. You know, it's like a Darth Vader helmet. You always see it when I go to Echo. He always has it there, and he does some great stuff in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's great.
Everyone's telling you what to do with your plates, right? So we got VTR going, Marty, remove the wall hangers from your plates. Then we got DTM going, I need to fry up on those plates. And then we got your Steph going, don't give him any ideas. I'm not having people around the house with Star Wars plates. Do you know what I mean?
And Adam, do you find yourself doing that when you go to conventions or anything like that? Do you find yourself looking for old computer games? Like you said, even though they're not working and stuff, do you ever find yourself like having a dip in, see if they've got any like Japanese or rarities or?
No, not really. No, these aren't anything that I'll ever sort of display. I think they will eventually get played again, you know, in the future when me and my mates finally find an hour to actually catch up. I'll probably say, look, I've got the N64 down, let's try and find a TV that it works on. And then you know, I think my focus is on the Star Wars figures now. I'm in now.
I'm lucky because I had all my Star Wars, vintage Star Wars, before it became massive again, if you will. Do you remember? There was a time, late 90s, early 2000s, when a lot of people weren't buying them as much. But you know that story for me. The first week we were in North Carolina, we go to this church fair kind of thing, and they put this big bag of figures, and I noticed a few Star Wars figures in there. I went over, and there was 11 of the last 17. Oh. Mint condition. I got them for $2 each.
Oh,
$2 each. The thing about it as well is because I wasn't going to barter anything over the simple reason it was a donated church, you know, where people had come in and put the stuff in. So it's not as if I was, I'll give you more than that, because it wasn't for that person. It wasn't. So I thought, I couldn't believe it. £2. I thought,
it's amazing what in the States you can pick up compared to over here. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Froggy Flips.
Yeah, I love Froggy Flips.
I love
Froggy. I watched him for years. I watched him before he did toys. He did all this stuff for his vending space. It was all like guitars and electrical. Then he went into. Right. I remember he was picking up Masters of the Universe. And he went into toys from there. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of it.
And it's amazing the what they call yard sales that he goes to, and you see. I mean, you wouldn't get anything like that in the UK. In a car boot sale,
no,
it's just impossible. And America's such an untapped resource of you know, people that, you know, just chuck it all out on their yard sales and they're just happy to get a few dollars for it. I'd love to come over and spend a month just going to yard sales.
It's great because especially where me and G-Force are. I don't know what it is. I say where me and G-Force are, we're quite lucky because we have loads of yard sales in. We live more rural. Well, I live more rurally, so they're not really interested in the toys. Like what you said, they just want to get rid of the stuff, you know. And the stuff I've found is ridiculous. But it's also there must be something about Indiana, because obviously Scuba's there, and that's where Froggy's from. And the toys that this lot find, I mean, you look at Scuba's Instagram and the stuff he finds. I'm like, how have you found that? You know, so. I think Indiana's the place we should all move to. You know? Going, no, don't just leave me. You know? Absolutely brilliant. So look, G-Bo says, Steph, break out the Star Wars China. We've got guests coming.
Make sure it's the golden one. It's the golden one. Man to be to the Jedi plate. Man to be to the Jedi plate.
I want to serve one of my roast dinners or told in the hole on one of your Star Wars plates. It needs to be used. Yeah.
Well, do you know what, Mark? I think in regards of Stephanie and Adam's other half, I think you should play their gallery again just before we go, just so.
I actually love that.
You want to see it again? All right. Well, Thanks, Si, making me do more work. I appreciate that.
No problem. There's a lot of work putting that together.
All right.
Get me £5 worth.
before we end, we'll get to know Martyn and Adam a bit more. There you go. There you go.
So good.
Says, I walk into my toy room and say to myself, what have I done?
You know your time.
I just want to take time out a minute on behalf of me and Si as well. We've had 50 plus people in the chat all night. It's died a bit now, we're ending, but thank you. That's how much you two, I mean, you two are, I'm so glad you joined it, us all, this community, because you two are awesome, man. It's great to have you on, and you're big parts of it, but I think everybody loves the long time ago boys. They really do. So I appreciate you both coming on. I really do.
That's very kind. Very kind. No. I mean, we couldn't do it without such an amazing community around us, though, could we? You know?
No, that's true.
That's you guys.
Be a bit of a dodgy stream, wouldn't it? Just me, just for talking.
Yeah, he should be saying, "What's he on about him? You let him out for the day, or what?"
I've sent you a pic if you could show it for Delvian. Let me just. Oh, you have more bloody work. Hold on.
Delvian Seek. If anybody hasn't subscribed to Delvian Seek's channel, you've got to do that. He does some amazing work with his vintage collection figures. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's
Delvian's been around forever, and I made a community dance video about 2 years ago, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. Delvian's loving it. He's got like this in his community video. It's brilliant. Let's have a look. Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So I've got to put this up. It's an X-Wing. Oh, it's an X-Wing knife set. You ready to see this, boys? So this is what TJC's got.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've seen those. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for that, TJC.
What's your toaster look like?
You could show us your oven while you're here, couldn't you? Oh, great stream. Right, I'm going to let you go because we've gone over. So if you've said hello in the chat, but thank you all for turning up. Thanks to Martyn.
Yeah,
thanks to our side. And then we'll see you next week. Anything coming up that you boys want to promote before we go?
Well, yeah, tomorrow is our car boot challenge, isn't it, Martyn? So you've got to get onto our channel for that because it's going to be a lot of fun. Where do
you go for your car boots? Where is it you go to?
It's just local car boots to us, mainly. There's one fairly big one not too far from me, which we both went to when Martyn was down. And then there's a couple of others that we checked out. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Pretty good, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Brilliant. All right. Well, Si, anything to say before we go?
No, watch ZSR Friday night, 8 o'clock.
I forgot about that.
Anybody else on this weekend we can watch? Stu's on Sunday. Watch Stu. Slate's Rum. He's doing a new show, and he's something about somebody's getting fingered. 12 o'clock. He's not fingering me.
We've got Super Awesome's Jeopardy as well that we're on.
Super Awesome's Jeopardy.
Yeah. So
I'm going to whack the floor with BTR and Shabby Geek. That'll be good. That'll make my week.
You probably will. All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you next time on Tub Thumpers. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Shelly.